heavy and my sight grew dim. I had to stop for the night. There she stood in the doorway. I heard the mission bell, and I was thinking to myself, this could be heaven or this could be hell. Then she lit up a candle and she showed me the way. There were voices down the corridor. I thought I heard them say, welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely face. Plenty of
XboxEra. We're an independent, community-funded publication focused on providing the best coverage and discussion of your favourite platform, Xbox. With best-in-class forums, a kick-ass Discord server, and awesome merch, XboxEra.com is your destination for the best news, reviews, and features focused on what you care about. With shows like the XboxEra podcast, headlines, and a whole heap of Patreon-exclusive content, we're proud to be an independent publication completely funded by you. If you value having an outlet truly focused on your preferred place to play, you can become one of the cool kids by supporting us directly via Patreon. Just head to patreon.com/XboxEra. You get cool swag and awesome perks, and we get to keep doing what we do. Become a part of the best Xbox community on the internet and help us grow even larger. Thank you for your support.
This is Console Wars the card game. Featuring more famous video games than you can shake a stick at, Console Wars finally allows you to win a war you've been fighting and probably losing on the internet your entire life. Quit being a keyboard warrior with the warm embrace of anonymity to protect you. Now you and your friends can fight on the front lines, battling for incredible franchises, exclusivity, and eventual victory. Collect some of the most famous video game franchises of all time. Protect them with loyal and frighteningly dedicated fans. Brave the volatile video game industry and claim the ultimate victory in the console wars. Your favorite video game making mega corporation needs you. Enlist today. Head to consolewarsgame.com. Pick up a copy of Console Wars the card game, outshine your rivals, and prove that your platform reigns supreme. Out now.
Everything XboxEra does is only made possible by our community and the growing army of incredible Patreon supporters. Our executive producers and MVPs are an amazingly generous bunch, only shown up by the incredible support of our grand benefactors, Cryat56 and Assassin Entertainment. All of this under the watchful eye of our lovely XboxEra CEO, Torn Raptor. This community is the best one on the internet, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. Just head to patreon.com/XboxEra and pledge your support.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of XboxEra Headlines. The date is May 15th, 2025, and today myself, Ursel, not John today, and Jesse will talk to you about all the latest gaming news from the industry across all the colors. And a bonus for our wonderful patrons, we'll have an audio version of these episodes available for Patreon or the preferred podcast app. If you want to become one of those patrons, simply head over to patreon.com/XboxEra. Now there's quite a bit of news this week, these last couple of days, I should say. But before we jump into that, I think the biggest thing, and related to us, is of course that Console Wars the card game is now officially available for purchase on Amazon. That's a really big milestone for us. Yeah. I want to say
it's a one could even call it potentially a big deal for making sure we continue to exist.
Yeah.
Because it's as many people know, it's real tough. Giant Bomb just had to go independent after seemingly being about to be changed or shut down.
Is my audio not going through?
What?
Hello? Someone's saying my mic's not on.
Oh, it's definitely on.
Okay. All right, never mind.
But so you're tinny, so there's a chance StreamYard's reading something besides your actual mic.
Piece of crap. Really?
Yeah, it might be reading your webcam. That happens to John a lot as well. Because funnily enough, with Windows, the Windows audio settings don't do it. You need to go to the old control panel, and then in there, you set something as the default.
Okay, how about now?
Yeah, now you're on your actual microphone.
Okay, all right. Free
so, yes,
StreamYard.
Quality goes away. So it's not StreamYard, it's Windows. So
okay. All right.
Type in control panel, go to the old control panel in your old audio settings, and then you right click and choose make default audio input device. It'll never change. You have to do it there though. It doesn't matter on the front end with the fancy UI. I learned that when I got the
default
GoXLR.
communication device. I
Yep.
see it here.
And
Oh
it'll
my
never
God,
change
okay.
now.
All right, done. Got it. Okay,
Yeah.
that's great to know.
Yeah,
But yeah, as I was saying, there's a bunch of news, and
Mhm.
yeah, Console Wars is officially available for purchase.
Got the link in the chat. It is funny. Like I remember when the whole giant bomb thing happened. VGC said, "Wow, we had so many patrons join." It's like, well, we didn't have any.
Yeah,
So
right?
it's tough. Like if you guys like these streams, if you like headlines, if you like our reviews or our live streams where we play games, none of those are money makers. They're all paid for by the Patreon. So the only way we can keep doing them, instead of doing the 40 articles I think we've written in the last 2.5 days, because like the articles make a ton of money and the live streams and reviews make very little. It's all funded by the Patreon. So that's why we bring it up so much.
Yep, 100%. What was I gonna say? Yeah, it's a really big milestone for the site, for the game, obviously. For those of you who didn't pre-order it or grab it on Patreon, it's up on Amazon North America, so Canada and America, as well as I believe UK, I imagine.
Yeah, UK and EU are covered, and North America is covered.
It's not I don't think it's Prime shipping yet, but I believe it should be later.
You got to earn it. So the way Amazon goes, like we're a new store, and so we have to earn all the cool stuff because we didn't use Amazon fulfillment. So if you're like, oh, I don't want to give any money to Amazon, you're not. We went through our own fulfillment centers, which was a lot of work for Jon, but also saves us a lot of money, and then we don't have to give any money to Amazon.
Like I know a few people that do a lot of drop shipping for Amazon. It's like a side thing, and the sheer amount of money Amazon takes is kind of ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
They'll sell something for $80 and make like $12 off it.
Yeah.
For reference. Like, but anyways, it's there. It's available. It's pretty cheap. 30 US is not a bad price, even in this economy, if I say so myself.
Yeah, it was going to be 25, but we are affected by tariffs. So
it's crazy. But if you enjoy like not too long card games and like a good time with friends, and if you know people that play a lot of games, definitely worth picking up just to laugh at the descriptions and the images, and it's a fun game. But okay, all right, moving on, and I guess we'll start off with a pretty big one.
Yeah, so there's a lot here.
Yeah, there is a lot. The PlayStation 5 financials are out for this quarter, and they were good, but also, well, actually, they're pretty good, right? They're great.
Well, it's the most money they've ever made.
Yeah.
So the main things were they're just behind the PS4 in units shipped, as in sold through. So sold to retailers. People are like, oh, they've sold that many. He's like, yep, they've made that and they've gotten the money, but only in the sense that many have gone to retailers, and they've also stocked up really heavily. They've done like a quarter worth of stock up ahead, I think, because they were trying to get ahead of one of the things I mentioned during the talking with investors part of it, which is they're monitoring the tariff situation and seeing what is this 30% for 3 months going to mean. They're looking at like a $600 million hit on their...
And Japan is playing pretty tough with the negotiations with America. They are not giving in at all.
So it'll be interesting. They've already raised their prices globally. It's just America where they haven't. But this is the second price increase, I believe, globally. And they've confirmed again that they've moved away. And I saw a lot of people surprised, but they've moved away from shipped units to MAUs.
And
they've had more. They've got more than ever right now. 125 million. They're finally going up again.
Does that mean they're hiding numbers? Does that mean they're scared to give people the actual sale numbers?
Well, they've been hiding numbers with PS Plus for a while. They just stopped giving them. Yeah. Like it's everyone is healthy. Everyone's making insane amounts of money in gaming. The thing, obviously, the Warriors A versus B, they take this as, oh, they moved to MAUs and Xbox was right. It's like all of them care about that the most because they are looking to monetize the people that are on their platform as much as possible now.
And they've always cared about that the most. Like, it's not like this is the first time we've gotten MAUs from Sony. Like, it's still something they've been doing consistently for a while. It's so that's why when I meant it's not the best news for everyone, it's because of those people, the people that are so adamant, like, oh, Sony's still doing this and console sales and that. And to be completely honest, PlayStation console sales being behind PS4 once again shows that the console industry, hardware-wise, is not growing.
Yep.
It's something we've known for a long time by now, but just another, like little bits and pieces just highlighting that throughout. Will the Switch 2 sell more than the Switch? Maybe, but I kind of doubt it. But let's see, I guess, how that goes.
Oh, they've already, like, when they put out their projections on the Switch 2, it's below what people were thinking. Yeah. And the CEO came out and said, yeah, it's because of the price. Like, they're not expecting to sell as many because it's not as cheap as it used to be.
No, that makes sense.
The overall numbers for Sony, real good. There was a funny line about how the spending in first party has been reined in, essentially. Like, because their focus, and they've talked about it pretty much ever since Jim Ryan left, is about upping their margins. Because again, they've been making more money than ever. They just have not been keeping as much as they would like. Like, Sony is keeping 5 to 10%, as where Nintendo can be 20 to 40%. Like that's what Sony was hoping to be at this point of a generation. Because like Nintendo's got 2 or 3 years of mediocre margins because they're launching a generation. That's the way it goes. But once you're far enough in, your margins go up and you make more and you keep more and more of what you're making. And that hasn't happened this generation for Sony. We have no idea if it's happened for Microsoft, but we do know that they were losing money while doing the full integration of Activision Blizzard King. That's done, but they don't. I don't think they give their margins. They just like, we're making more than ever. We have no idea what they're keeping. I think most of us don't care, even though there's like an academic interest in how these companies are doing. As consumers, it's nice to know they're doing well. They're going to stick around and keep making stuff.
But that's really all you got to know.
Yeah.
Like, look, really. Though you could maybe infer that like the fact that Microsoft isn't doing like a huge marketing blitz for every game saves a good amount of money because marketing is ludicrously expensive.
Yeah, we've seen that with most things. Like I didn't put it in there, but the CEO of SNK is stepping down. It seems in large part because Fatal Fury City of the Wolves had an insane marketing campaign and has sold okay. Yeah, for an SNK Fatal Fury game, it sold pretty well, but compared to all the marketing they've done, it's not it. Like I think that targeted marketing outside of the biggest hitters like Call of Duty, FIFA, GTA, like those things make so much money so constantly. Monopoly Go just spends like $500 million a year in advertising because it's making $1.5 billion or something like that. Like, most games have to be very smart now because the interest in investing tons of money is drying up a bit because you can make money, you just can't make as much gain as consistently in gaming right now.
And to increase that gain, you reduce costs, right? Which is something a lot of us have been saying we want, right? From gaming, hey, reduce costs, reduce the budgets, a balloon, blah, 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 blah. Well, marketing is part of budgets. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. The more money you spend on marketing, the more you need to recoup on the game, which means the stress on the game is higher. And like you said, very few games can be consistently selling so much that they can afford to spend 200, 300 million on marketing, right? Like literally maybe one hand the number of games that do that.
And one of the things in this that was noted is that the PS5's financials are very heavily tied to third party right now. Yes. That'll obviously change throughout the rest of the year because they got 3 big games coming with Death Stranding 2, Marathon, and then Ghost of Yotei. So they've got things coming. But they only had like MLB The Show for the most part. I think they've also got some other things they're publishing. I can't remember the name. There's the Chinese game that started with one guy, but now he's got a team.
Phantom Blade?
No, it was a different one that just got delayed. I can't remember the name. Lost Soul Aside.
Yes. Yeah.
I remembered. So they are like PlayStation has always been really relying on third party, which is why they pushed their first party so hard for so long, because they wanted what Nintendo has and what even Microsoft to an extent had with like Halo and Gears and other stuff throughout the years. They had enormous sellers with The Last of Us Part 1, Part 2 did well, but even like Spider-Man 2 and all that, it's really hard for them to start making a bunch of money with them because none of them are big live service games besides Helldivers 2. And Helldivers 2 isn't even a big microtransaction game.
Yes.
It's
even
rough.
That dropped off pretty badly, like, which is expected.
It dropped off on PS5. It's still real strong on Steam. So, but that's why I think they've said like everything they do that's live service focused is multi-plat, whether that includes Nintendo and Xbox is probably per game. Like Marathon is Xbox simply because it was Bungie and it was always going to be. If something new comes, there's lower chances of Xbox right off the bat, but it's definitely PC day and date, which is a change for them. Because like their single player stuff still won't be.
It is interesting seeing so much focus on third-party sales, right? In a quarter where we've gotten a lot of Microsoft first-party released as third-party on PlayStation. People have only limited amount of time and money, guys. You can't buy and spend and play everything.
And they talk there. You're constantly fighting for people's attention across everything because they're just either on their phone or on social media all the time, and that is the main thing you end up fighting to just get people to want to even play games.
In terms of numbers, they have sold, I think, exactly shipped to 77.8 million units, which is, of course, a pretty high number.
It's not far behind the PS4, which is good because the PS4 was also way cheaper at this point. So that's why they're making more money than ever. But hardware
this probably costs them more too, though.
They're not making money off the hardware like Nintendo does. They still need to sell software, which they're doing quite a bit of.
And they're now 76% all digital in terms of game sales, compared to 70% last year. That too is slowly going up. In general, the more you look at PlayStation's financials, the more you kind of see like similar paths to what Xbox has had for a while in terms of digital sales, MAU focus, that kind of thing. Let's see, they had a great quarter. They'll probably have a great year.
It's not about existence. It's about growth. So like a lot of people in our sphere, like we don't give a shit about making more last year than we did this year if we're making 30 billion. Like, oh shit, we're good. But for companies, it is always what can we do to make our shareholders happy once you're publicly traded. Like that's why Valve doesn't have to do it because they're still a private company. They want to make more money, but they have a monopoly on PC gaming and they've got a 30% cut from damn near everything everywhere. So like they are in such a strong position that they don't have to do that much to make insane amounts of money anymore. So there's only like a few hundred people that even work there. Like there's probably a few hundred people working in one division for just checking games going onto Xbox at Microsoft. So it's crazy, but everyone's healthy. Everything's going fine. Microsoft did fire 3% of their company, but that is evilly normal. Like that's not a big, we've got to fix things layoff. That's we're so big that we just hire up and then fire, and then we hire up and then we fire. And they've been doing that for 30 plus years. So
literally decades and decades.
It's been shitty for 30 plus years. It's just not out of the ordinary. And it's the way pretty much every corporation ends up working.
I was going to say, before we get in, or do you want to jump straight into that right now?
What? Is that even in there? Oh yeah, there was an update on it. On the the number of people through the warn system.
So all we know is a small update, which is get away. Updates start at the Microsoft HQ, totaling around 2,000, and then of those 2,000, 1,500 are in-office workers, and around 500 are remote. From what we've seen so far in terms of it affecting Xbox and gaming, this does not seem like a gaming-centric cut at all in any way. It seems more like a management level cut. Yeah.
What they would evil-heartedly call like trimming the fat. We've got people that are overlapping and we can consolidate and save money. It's like the Ubisoft people that they talked about their financials. They're like, we saved over 100 million by firing a ton of people and closing a studio. It's like, great. Literally. Thanks. You only have to do that because of your awful ideas.
It is interesting because you're in the workforce and you'll hear a lot about like middle managers and stuff like that and having too many of them. So I get it in terms of that sense. Microsoft will hire double, triple this, like you said, hire, fire, right? That's the cycle. I think in the last 10 years, they've grown like 10% or 15% or something total. It is. It is
There are well over
yeah.
200,000 people working there.
Yeah,
It's bonkers.
Globally, right? And I think
Mhm.
like 50K in America, something like that. But this is kind of the norm for not just tech jobs, just career work in general. You'll be laid off at one point, or you'll know people that are laid off, and you got to jump from here to there to this. I mean, should it happen? No. Will it happen? Yeah. It's kind of my view on this thing.
It sucks, but it's typical evil more than surprising.
Yeah. On the silver lining wise, Microsoft's usually pretty good severance wise, and having Microsoft on your CV looks pretty damn good. You know, hopefully all these people are back on their feet before too long.
Yeah.
Okay, moving up. I was gonna hide this into the marketing talk. Speaking of marketing in games, clearly one of the games that Xbox is releasing that they are putting a lot of money into marketing is the game that released today, I believe.
Yeah, so it was technically last night at 8 p.m. US Eastern Standard Time. But
that's pretty early. What the heck?
Yeah, it was the same. Like quite often they end up being a little ahead where you think they're going to be.
Yeah, damn. But Doom: The Dark Ages is officially released outside of early access, and Corsair had a marketing partnership with them with a bunch of PC components, including a keyboard, a mouse, a headphone, a mic, a pad, a stream deck, and what's that dial thing?
That is an XLR. So like if you've got an XLR microphone, you plug it into there, and then it's a dial for that. It's like a really basic XLR, but it's a an amplifier for your microphone.
That makes sense.
And they're expensive as shit.
Yeah, they are 160 US. Holy crap.
Yeah. They're nice. Like I've used quite a few of those over the time. I'm using essentially that arm just with the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 look on it. Can't really get it on camera though. But they had also done a collaboration with Starfield that was absolutely stunning, and I was desperately hoping to get at least a keyboard or something to check out. But man, they're real pretty.
Did that just happen? Sorry, really quick. I'm checking chat. That's relatively big news.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of, sorry, while we look into that, the mat is actually pretty cheap. $40. Yep. I might pick that up.
And it's pretty big. The mouse is real expensive. I have no idea what the quality is. I know you're using the mic. I had the mic, but this is the cheaper, smaller wave mic from them. Looks cool. The arm I'm using, it's really nice.
Yeah, that is a really nice arm.
Yeah, the XLR, I'm not exactly sure how theirs works. It looks like it's just a sound dial and not like the Go XLR I have where
you can talk like this.
What the heck is that?
But
do that instantly?
Yeah, but they're just buttons on there. I can also just I forgot to play. I don't play this if John's not around, but he wants it otherwise. You can make it as loud as you want. It's got all the things. But the Stream Deck, and I wouldn't mind. Ooh, we disconnected. Yes. YouTube is in awful shape today, by the way.
It is. Everyone in chat talking about how like even Trav got a crash this time.
My internet's perfect. Like it's been fine. I haven't dropped a frame to Twitch, but YouTube is having some problems, which we are lucky it does not happen more often with how big YouTube is and how often it is used. Because boy, I was wondering. You wondering where Abdul said that from?
No, I found it. It's a Forbes link. Paul Tassi. I just got to remove the freaking paywall.
Oh, so he probably found it on Reddit. Let me look on Reddit.
Right. Okay. So really quick, in chat, Abdul showed us that Helldivers 2, or rather, Arrowhead Studios behind it is planning on going independent for their next game. But let me see. The wonderful thing is that thanks to the it's on Discord. Amazing support of you fine people. Arrowhead's future is quite bright. We have the freedom to explore some really cool concepts we couldn't have. The next game is 100% funded by ourselves, so we'll 100% call these shots.
Yeah, it has felt like, and there's no reason why they wouldn't want this because it would just make them more money. That they did want it on other platforms. Like there's no reason because Helldivers 2 is biggest on PC.
Yeah,
it's still really big on there.
It would do well on Xbox, like genuinely, especially on Game Pass. It would be consistently like top 15.
It's a few years too early. It's probably like 5 years too early before PlayStation really just Because as it is, like if the next Xbox is what we think it ends up being, you'll just be able to play Helldivers 2 on it anyways. But at that
Yeah,
point,
yeah, exactly.
PlayStation doesn't have to give Microsoft a cut in that version, so it's not as painful. That's why I think a lot of people are like, oh, why would they ever let that happen? It's like, they're still getting all the money for it if the PC games on Steam and GOG and Epic, because Sony's been on all of them. So they'd have to figure out a way for all of them to say no, even though none of them would want to do that. And it also opens up a big can of worms when it comes to Windows itself, where Microsoft has had to lead the charge, thanks to the US government back when it cared more, in not making things exclusive. And it's just
anti-competitive.
an open platform. Everything that goes on there just works on Windows. It's like Linux. It has to be that way, where it just, if you have a Windows 11 install, it plays everything that works on Windows 11, and you don't, only the corporate side of things really has their own like lockdown versions of stuff for security reasons. Yeah. So I haven't dropped a frame, Mohammed. It is YouTube right now.
Yeah.
Did you go watch on Twitch, twitch.tv/the XboxEra. I don't think anyone's complained over there.
You think friggin' YouTube at 10 a.m. non-peak times, right?
Well, it's peak for the Europe and UK probably.
Oh, that's fair.
Everyone bored at work.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
this makes a lot of sense because, like, obviously, once they made a ton of money with this, it definitely opens them up and gives them the freedom to. You lose the safety net, but you also don't have to give away a bunch of the money you make.
It is interesting that I mean, this you can only infer so much, but the assumption here, I think, is that the next game wouldn't be Helldivers 3, right?
Yeah, because this is a Sony's IP, so yeah,
exactly. And Helldivers 2 did a ton of work in like populating that IP amongst everyone. Essentially, the vast majority of people had no idea what Helldivers was until the second game, which is, I think, something only games can do. But let's see. Yeah, I mean, I wish them luck. Whatever it is, I imagine it'll be multiplat, so I'll definitely be playing it. Not that I didn't play Helldivers 2. I did. I just played it solo, and it is not a fun solo game at all. Like, you need a group for that for sure.
I'm going to put this in the Discord, but today Sega and Atlas announced that Persona 5 The Phantom X is launching on PC and mobile on June 25th. This is
the mobile game, right? Yeah.
So it is coming to PC. It's not coming to console for people who are curious.
Oh, honestly, people thought it was just going to be mobile. So
yeah, so it's PC as well, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. It's like, hey, you don't need to emulate it. Just
I have liked I quite liked the original Helldivers, and I really liked Helldivers 2 when I had a good group. It's definitely one of those games where with a group it's great. Without a group, matchmaking wasn't so goddamn annoying.
Dude, without a group, I was just screaming at the game. I'm like, where's my jump button? Where's my jump button? That's all I was doing in like the 3 hours I played.
And speaking of Sony, this next story is about a company that is owned by them.
Really?
Yep.
So Audeze, as Jesse rightly fixed my pronunciation, my initial pronunciation of Audeze.
This is an Audeze.
They announced the Maxwell Flora gaming headset for Xbox. And
this is their third straight collaboration. So when I reviewed the Audeze Maxwell, they did the ultraviolet, and that's what they sent me. Really cool vaporwave look. Last year they did a wasabi green one that had a same metallic look but was neon green. And so this one at $340 because these are not cheap, but they're the best sounding headset I've ever used. Especially these ones, which are $900 that they sent me.
Oh, that's also Audeze?
Yeah, this is wired into my Go XLR, my PC headset.
Yeah.
These sound amazing. The battery life is like 100 hours. It's crazy. I don't know how they do it. I've only charged it maybe 10 times in going on 3 years.
That's crazy. Yeah. What the hell?
So
they're comfortable for like long usage?
They're very heavy.
Okay.
They're also pretty form-fitting. I can't hear shit when they're on. Whether the anti-noise shit is on
exactly,
or not.
Britt. Exactly. I was going to make that joke instantly, but then Jesse fixed my pronunciation.
Yeah. But the main issue I think people will have is this microphone sounds bad.
Your microphone? Oh, the headphone microphone.
The headphone, the boom arm that comes with it doesn't sound great. That's the only negative I have for it. Other than that, they are. Also, if you want to change, there's 3 sizes for the head strap. You got to unscrew 4 screws to change it.
Oof! Wow, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you're only going to do it like once to get it comfortable, but
Yeah.
Really nice, really
Um,
expensive, and Audeze was bought by Sony not that long ago, and they're still much like Aniplex, willing to work with anyone, which is cool.
Yeah. You know, Jesse, there's a lot of peripherals being made for a console no one ever buys or uses. I'm just saying.
Yep. It's just
But-
it's a very dumb industry that we're in.
Okay, speaking of Xbox-centric games, Stalker, Legends of the Zone Trilogy Enhanced Edition was announced and launches later this month. And Stalker
It's in
2
PS Plus
got a big
for me.
patch. It is, right? Yeah.
So you
I
said
did see that.
Xbox centric. I was like, hey, this one's actually so they don't have Stalker 2
Huh.
yet, but they are getting the Legends of the Zone trilogy re-enhanced thing for PS5 into PS Plus.
I mean, I'm guessing they just took whatever, the better deal they got, and hey, makes sense, dude. Like, that's the whole point. Pit these companies against each other, right? Like, competition is a good thing.
And this this version of Legends of the Zone is free if you've already you already own it. So it takes the old games and makes them look and run a whole heck of a lot better. I don't think the look changes that much. It really is a lot of the run stuff.
Yeah.
And on the Stalker 2 side of things, the big thing was more and more of their AI fixes to get the A-Life stuff working
that's cool.
the way they
Okay.
want. Because this is patch 1.4. When I reviewed it on patch, I think 1.0, the last day, it was an amazing game in rough shape. That's why, like, it should have been in the 9s. Like, I think if a lot of people covered it now, it could be. But it was in the low 8s for me and the high 7s for a lot of other people.
Yeah.
But
Stalker's Stalker, right? Like, it's never going to get like that across the board 10 out of 10 critical acclaim you need on these aggregate sites to break a 9, right?
Yeah. Because it's got a low floor. And a lot of the games, especially JRPGs that people really love, tend to have a very high floor. Like, the lowest they will get is an 8. Yeah. And so that's why
high
you just
ceiling
see
too, man.
a bad game like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which I thought was terrible. Very well made in many ways that people like and care about, but boy, I just did not connect with it at all. But that game is like a 93 or 92 or something, and I find that insane.
Which game? Sorry, I
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the newest one.
Rebirth. Yes. Not a fan. Yeah. I mean, you throw nostalgia into there, and that I think alone probably puts the review score up by 1 point for most people reviewing that game. Like, I remember this. Oh, that's a cool change. And I get it. There are some games where I'd be in a similar boat. So it is what it is. Interesting, fun story in chat. Moving on. Moving up. Capcom, and this seems to be a pretty common occurrence for them every time they release
it's been
Monster
like
Hunter.
many years in a row now.
Yeah, reported record profits across all major categories for the 8th year in a row, thanks to Monster Hunter and Resident Evil. Wait, which Resident Evil released?
They just keep selling.
That makes sense. I keep buying them, so I haven't played a single friggin' one more than 3 hours. I own
and
most
they
of
got
them.
Game Pass deals on 2 and 3, although that was a little while ago. But the big thing this year was Monster Hunter. They just put out the Capcom Fighting Collection 2, Arcade Collection, whatever it's called, the Dreamcast Collection, essentially.
Street Fighter 6 is still selling. It's still making new characters, new costumes, blah, 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 all that stuff. But yeah, it's an 11% increase compared to the previous year, which is a decent friggin' bit.
Yeah.
And net income, 11.7% went up. And of course, the number one star was Monster Hunter Wilds, which I think is the best-selling Monster Hunter game, right?
It's still number 1 for this year, if I remember correctly. In the US, the only thing behind it is Shadows, but I
expected it to do well. I didn't expect it to hit this critical mass, I'll be honest.
Especially because, I do think making it a lot easier early on helps in the long run. I get why they do it. I just wish that you didn't have to get so, like, I'm now Monster Hunter, I'm Hunter rank 98, and it's finally kind of challenging that they're adding in stuff through patches. Like, I got through it. I enjoyed it. The UI is still the main thing that I think would actually pull more people in, because it's still not good. But they also, it's not good, and they made it too easy for, like, here's everything you ever need for any hunt, always just handed to you. You don't need to use traps. You don't need to use anything. You can just kill all of it the first time pretty easily, especially if you remember to target the weak points. But hey, they know what they're doing. It sounds like crazy.
Exactly, right? I'm going to wait personally until Master Rank is added in before I really dive in.
The first expansion is probably the best time to jump in if you care about difficulty.
Right? Yeah, that makes sense. Whatever they did, clearly it worked. It hit critical mass. It's being played like crazy. It sold like crazy. And Monster Hunter has a lot of microtransactions. They might not be up front in front of your face. They exist. There's a ton, like dozens of them.
Yeah, like even changing your overall look is a microtransaction.
Yeah, exactly. Very MMO-like. So it's not just console sales that help attribute to the success of this game. I imagine they're going to release it for Switch 2. Do you think this year, or would that be like a next year port?
It runs so bad on the Steam Deck, I don't know.
I'm sure they're going to try. Like,
it'll be, if they do, it's going to probably be a bad patch, because I didn't put it in there either, but like the Digital Foundry broke down what the Switch 2 is, and it's exactly as, performant as was expected, I think you could say. Nowhere near what Nick thought, but
was Nick expecting worse or better?
No, Nick thought it was like Series S level. It's like, no, man, it's like a third of a Series S. It doesn't need to be Series S. Series S clocks 3 times higher on the CPU. Like, it doesn't need to be that, because it can't draw power from the wall all the time. It has to work as a handheld. And he's finally realizing that now, and he posted, "Ooh, people are going to complain about the the Switch 2 holding back the generation, because Switch 2 is going to be getting games made for it for a decade." So
I am disappointed, I'm not going to lie, that the VRR function is not good when docked, because that would help a lot with Nintendo's games, like a ton.
Especially because it seems like it only happened because they didn't use a good HDMI output.
Exactly. What the hell? Like,
I don't know. It's always this. The main thing with Nintendo, always be excited for their software and always be not excited for their hardware.
Yeah, I have a pre-order ready. I'm not sure if I'll keep it, but whatever. Let's see. Okay. Moving on. We have a little bit more insight in not EA's, but Nick's leaked EA's Iron Man game. I'll give him credit here. A job listing gave us a little bit more information on it. So they detailed a level designer position. Design and build major single player levels. To bring levels to every phase of development. Anything here that like really sticks out?
No, that's why I said it gives like minor insight. It's nothing major. It is just, this is, a lot of people are like, oh, this means it's level based and not open world. And it's like, well, no, open worlds are made of a bunch of levels and stuff that you do. It could be level based.
Yeah.
There is another post on the Gaming Leaks and Forum subreddit that I thought about adding in, but it's not
what
verified.
Is it roughly?
So it is. Oh yeah. Also, I didn't put it in there, but no pre-release review units for the Switch 2.
Oh,
for the press.
Damn.
Yeah. As was from Chris String over at the Gaming Business or Gaming Business. I forget his new venture with Mr. Keeley. Where did they delete it? More info.
If the Switch is going to bend again.
Game looks to. So these are the actual grain of salt,
like massive grain of salt. Like these are just rumors.
That's Doom music. Didn't mean that. I thought that was a rumor mill. So from the Gaming Leaks and Rumor subreddit, here, I'll put them up so people know it's just from here. It's kind of small. I'll make it bigger. Game looks to still be in early development with at least 2 years away. EA not looking to add microtransactions. The side quests are similar to Spider-Man. Racing Trials, Horde Mode, hacking minigame. Combat seems to be like the Arkham games on ground. Crafting system with parts where you can craft new abilities. There will be lots of suits. Flying seems like Anthem and open world. Personally, in my opinion, there could still be linear levels. Combat doesn't seem like anything special currently, but you can fly and shoot range attacks anytime. Blah, blah, blah. It's the most basic bitch leak that...
Yeah.
Who knows? It's EA Motive who did they go from Dead Space right into this? So obviously Dead Space...
I think so. I imagine they probably worked on their Dead Space 2 pitch for a while, I'm guessing.
And Dead Space was 2023. I think this was announced late 2022. So
this is announced that early?
Yeah, Nick leaked it August 2022, and then him and Grubb leaked it again that it was going to be announced soon in early September of 2022. And then in late September 2022, it was announced because Nick gets a lot of shit right, annoyingly, and people ignore it when he gets it right because he's annoying. So I get it.
2027 would be on track, but also kind of early. I want to say for like a brand new AAA game.
I guess a lot of times it comes in. How long was it in development before announcement? You never know.
Pre-production. In terms of open world, I mean, this job posting literally lists single player levels. It says, single player action RPG experience, blah blah blah. So let's see. Yeah, none of that leaked stuff.
Much like the Hoyoverse people have realized, when we put out Genshin Impact and then Honkai Star Rail and then Zenless Zone Zero, we cannibalized ourselves pretty hard.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that many live service games as a publisher. You will eat into your own,
especially when it's like
group.
The same audience or like a very similar audiences for all three. Like, yeah.
So you got to have the mix. You have to have the mix of single player stuff that you scope well so that it doesn't have to sell 15 million to make any money. I think that's that was a big thing. Speaking of EA, we can add this in. EA is forcing return to office, aka doing soft layoffs, where the game developers know for the most part that you can develop games perfectly, work from home. They only do these return to office mandates when they want to fire more people, but don't want the bad press and angry employees from firing everyone. That's generally a leading factor in why they mandate return to office. When, because EA has, someone said EA still has an entire studio that has no office. They can't go back to anything. They've never had one. They're entirely work from home.
That's fun.
So
it's really stupid in my opinion, mostly because like putting a blanket friggin' like where a company is an office company is just really stupid. You cut off so much talent, so much great talent from joining a company. I would say video games are one of the few industries where you do want some people in the office just because of the sheer size of the files you're working with. You know, I mean, having it locally stored helps a lot. Remember, that was one of the major complaints or issues with Halo Infinite when they were talking about their remote work, their switch. They're like, where we weren't used to waiting 3-4 hours for a file to be usable. That being said, we're 5 years post-pandemic, we're 4 years post-pandemic. We've adjusted. Everyone's adjusted. This is a stupid move.
Yep. Or it's not. It's
You're
not
right.
to
It's
help games.
Stop firing.
Yeah, it's not to help games be made better. Only it is.
Yeah.
We just did a bunch of firings across Respawn and other teams because Apex Legends is hitting the end of its money-making life, and Football Club is not making as much money as FIFA did.
Yeah.
So everyone like that, those games were paying for a lot of other stuff, and plus all the EA originals, where they put out a ton of great games, where only a couple of them have done well, and they're both by Hazelight. Like,
I saw Immortals on sale for like 15 Canadian yesterday, and I'm like, the deluxe edition. I'm like, oh man.
Like, there's so many good games that they have published that just didn't do anything. And it's just a bunch of money gone.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I mean, let's see. I imagine next year Football Club will sell a fair bit more than this year, just because, you know, FIFA year makes sense.
But it'll be offset by college football selling less, because it's not the first college football game in over a decade.
You're right.
It's a yearly update. So
yeah, I guess give and take, right? Give and take. Okay, moving on really quick. Clear Obscure Expedition 33 game I am still playing, slowly making through. God, I wish. Anyways, there are characters in that game that are hilarious, super fun, and it would be great to have merch for it. However, the developers behind them have warned us that every kind of merch you see or plushies of certain characters are fake. They do not exist.
SKA
do not buy them.
especially.
Yeah, SK especially.
Yeah, they don't have any. They don't have any merch yet. They are though looking into making it.
Yes, and the annoying part, making merch and selling it's just one thing, but the fact that so many of them are just AI generated crap, like come on, dude. Like that's. Ugh.
And that's why I think Amazon is so goddamn hard to work with on our side of things, because and they're a big part of it. I'm sure everyone loves generative AI and the techosphere for corporations. It's just like the books, the everything, like entire novels written with ridiculous hallucinations in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of great character designs and stuff of non-humans, which would be the type of thing you generally go for a plushie.
Yes, Noko, bro. I need a Noko plushie too. Just yeah, and I need like a giant SK plushie.
Especially
cool.
because like
Yeah.
it'll also like in game the gestural and stuff have stuff that would be essentially their version, like wooden plushies. So there's so many ideas that they could go for. Some of the enemy bosses and whatnot.
Sandfall Interactive, right? I think finds himself in a similar boat as who developed friggin' Balatro again, the one dude.
Local Funk,
where it's like you release a game, you expect it to do well, but not like extremely well, right? And then you're like, oh crap, we didn't plan for merch because that we didn't think it'd sell. We didn't plan for this and this.
Yeah.
And all that stuff takes months and months, if not years of production and development and everything. So we'll get it for sure, but it can't be like instant, you know?
No. Everything takes time. Like even our little card game here, which is, by the way, now on sale on Amazon.com. You can go to consolewarsgame.com/buy if you have any interest in it.
Yeah. And you don't got to click the weird more sellers thing either. It's just straight up obvious in your face.
Yeah, we got the button now because they're confident that we are real.
I'm waiting for my copy to come in, and I will throw in a review. For those of you listening who have bought a version of this, be it through Patreon or Kickstarter or whatnot, we'd really appreciate any kind of review or some kind of feedback anywhere that's public facing to help spread the word that the game is out and it's playable. Okay, moving on to the last couple things. Yes, so Kingdom Hearts had a mobile game that was in development, which I didn't even know was in development.
Yeah, for a while.
That mobile game has been canceled. It was called Missing Link. Oh yeah, wow, announced in 2022.
Yeah, along with the last time we saw anything about Kingdom Hearts 4.
Oh, I remember this now. Yeah, okay. And it even had tests. Wow, did they give a proper reason and why they canceled it?
I don't know.
Right here, it says, we determined it would be difficult for us to offer a service that players would find satisfactory over a long period of time. Oh, it was a live service game?
Yeah, live service. Oh, I mean, it's mobile.
Mobile
is live service, yeah.
Okay. Hopefully
but the bigger thing that made everyone all happy was that they showed a series of screenshots. They didn't give the screenshots directly. They just made a montage of them in a Twitter post. So I guess I can do this and then this, and I can then zoom in a bit. Boop, boop. I think it looks bad. I don't think it looks very good.
Yeah.
It looks like a city out of a Sega arcade racing game from like 2010.
Yeah, in terms of like, so much of it looks a really placeholder.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Wait, they just released this whole image of all the screenshots together?
Yep.
Oh my god, that is so weird.
Sora looks kind of dumb. I mean, he always kind of looked kind of dumb, but like,
yeah,
I don't know, his face right here. I don't know. He looks like the dumb bully in school now.
Has he always had like the clear Noctis haircut? I thought it was always a little different before. This is kind of different, right?
It's a big jump in fidelity. They do have Mickey. Of course, Mickey's there. Because wasn't the big thing with 3 is that it almost was nothing but Disney? It didn't have any Final Fantasy in it, really. But then the DLC did. I don't know. I've never played any of them. I'm only doing this from the knowledge of what other people have said.
Yeah, sorry, apologies if we sound like Kingdom Hearts haters. I'm not. I played the 4 hours of the first game like 20 years ago, and I own them all, and I want to get through it eventually. It's just the series doesn't make it easy, man. I'll tell you that much.
That's a little too much.
Yeah, that definitely is.
I don't know if there's a good way to have like just a high-pitched male voice. Maybe if I go all the way on gender to the left for men.
Men to the right. Donald!
That's not bad.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah, okay.
I'm Mickey Mouse! Woo-hoo! Probably not.
It's better than the first one you did, that for sure. Is that what is that, the Steam Deck?
That's all the way to the right.
Buckaroo.
Okay. This is only one to the left, and it's full-on demon voice. I could be a Heartless.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts is. I mean, we'll definitely.
Kingdom Heartless.
We'll cover it. Because Genghis has played through the whole series, right?
He's a weeb, so I'm gonna guess yes.
Yeah, I'm assuming yes. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, to make up for the mobile announcement and the fact that it's been so many years since they talked about it, they gave a series of a montage of screenshots instead of just here are some screenshots and the actual shots. So that's it. Square can be a weird company.
Okay, tangibly related to gaming, the title for the next Super Mario Bros. Movie was leaked, assuming it stays the same, and it is about what you expect. It will be called supposedly Super Mario World. Wow, I never saw that coming.
Yeah, it was in an NBC Universal press release, and then they went, "Oh shit," and deleted it. But too many people had seen it. So
it was it alongside other fantastic movies like Downton Abbey, the grand finale.
Mm-hmm. What was your thought about the Mario Brothers movie?
I loved it. I mean, I know you weren't the biggest fan, but I grew up playing Mario. I took my nephew to it the first time I watched it, and I just had a blast. I thought it was like an hour and a half of like really tight, just great animation. Super
it was
basic,
unbelievably pretty. It was just the most paint by numbers hero story ever, with really bad choices on music.
Yeah, there were actually cuts apparently of the movie where whenever they used like licensed music, they had their own soundtrack for it. But then I'm guessing executives and I mean it's an Illumination movie, man. If they don't have at least 3 bad licensed songs, is it an Illumination movie? But particularly because it's Illumination, I was expecting it to look as good as it did, and it looked incredible. Like
it had all of their budget for a long time.
Yeah, and it made a lot of money, which was expected for anyone who like knew what the movie was. People that were surprised it made money, I'm like, dude, are you kidding me right now? It's an animated only Mario movie. Like, please, it's gonna make a ton of money. Kids still know who Mario is. He's not some like old figure.
I'm
looking forward to this sequel.
I don't care about Yoshi.
I thought the next sequel is gonna be Yoshi's World instead. But hey, I'm happy we're getting just full on Mario. I'm almost 100% sure there's a Luigi's Mansion in development.
It's weird. Like they're in a weird spot with Nintendo and games. Like I saw Daniel Ahmad was saying the only thing I know like about the specs. And he's like the only thing I care about is these, and it was just a bunch of games, and it said launch lineup. When the reality was, the actual launch lineup for the Switch is just Mario Kart World.
Yeah.
Then a month later, Donkey Kong, and then nothing else has a release date.
Releasing Donkey Kong a month later is weird to me, in my opinion. I thought they'd release it as a launch title.
Because it's got the Dusk Bloods and Metroid Prime 4 and Kirby Air Riders, and it's like
don't forget that paid tutorial is also a launch title. Okay. Right, we got to include that.
I think they've got the Wheels game where you got to use the mouse and push yourself with like wheelchair basketball robots.
I don't know how to feel about that game, man. I'll be honest. I don't know if I want to talk about it.
Like it's also showing like you've got Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Bros. It's like they're just upgrade. Like then Gears 5 counted because Gears 5 got a transformative upgrade, but that was free. But that put in Ray Trace Global Illumination when it went to the Series X.
If you cared about the visual fidelity in any of the Zelda games, Breath of the Wild games, or those things, you're playing them on PC.
And the best thing is now they'll run at a better frame rate. We'll see how consistent it is. I'm guessing it's probably fine. They were originally a Wii U game and the Switch game that ran okay on the Switch. So,
and to make a game of that scale for the Switch, you probably got to optimize it fairly well, I want to say, right? And Monolith, who helped with both those games, do great optimization. Yeah, let's see. I do think it's super misleading going like all these great games are coming out. That's like Xbox like series launching with like we have 1,000 great games as our launch title. Like that doesn't work. You can't just say these are backwards compatible games. They're our launch group. But it'll make a ton of money. It'll be sold out for 6 months, is what it is.
And the Switch started okay, was really weak until COVID hit, and before COVID hit, it was doing good.
Yeah.
But when COVID hit, it went crazy, and it's like it was doing really, I should say, good launch, a little weak, took off pretty well. Then when it was normally going to dip, COVID hit, and it just kept shooting up even without dropping any prices.
Yeah.
So they were just able to make more money than ever because at the time where they were selling well, normally things are getting cheaper, so you keep selling, but you make less because you're selling them cheaper, focusing on the software. And they didn't have to do that because everyone was stuck at home for a long ass time, and a bunch of strains of the flu died, which was cool. Probably never happen again. Look it up.
Yeah.
It's interesting how effective not sneezing on each other is. So,
Oh, that's what you're saying. Yes.
there were multiple strains of the flu that are just gone because a lot of people stayed home for a while or wore masks.
It just didn't spread. Yeah, 100%. No, you're right. It'll do well. Will it do better? This is Nintendo's first test of fighting the forever games, essentially, right? Why am I going to upgrade my kid's console when he's playing the same game he has? For the
they've
last
talked
5
about
years?
they're going to support the Switch for a long time. The first one. They're going to keep having stuff for it.
50 million units.
They're still. They said they're still over 100 million in use right now.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Ouch. Yeah.
That's why it
crazy.
really has felt like this was more the Switch Pro. It might not have been, but like the final board being stamped in 2022 and the prototype in 2021, they didn't need a sequel. They did not need a follow-up piece of hardware then.
Yeah.
They don't even need it that bad now. It's just like the work's all done.
Drake in chat, I'm almost 100% sure that Final Fantasy VII has some kind of clause of it not releasing on Xbox, specifically Xbox.
We'll see in a month.
Is what it is. Yeah, maybe they can get around it by now. Maybe it's whatever. I still believe. I still have hope, and it will appear. It will appear at our games we expect to see at the Xbox Showcase video. But yeah, let's see. Okay. Last thing.
Another thing we weren't invited to.
Yeah, man, I just saw this pop up. FBC Firebreak had previews, and the previews are out, and they are good.
Yep, people seem happy. Like it's fun. It's good fun, and it's only 3 people, PvE only, so you don't need a big group or anything, which never hurts. But it's got a lot of that wacky Remedy stuff to it. Playing I'm most
curious on like how this game plays as a first-person shooter from Remedy. You know what I mean?
Like Jesse Cox's video. I have no idea who he is. He has over 1 million subs. I'll put that link to chat because I'm playing his footage.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, a lot of people went out, did previews, seemed pretty darn happy. It is one of those like seems like a run-based third-person
an extraction shooter-ish kind of thing. Right?
Maybe, I don't know. I haven't watched any of them because I was annoyed we weren't invited.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm looking at footage, and it looks like a higher budget version of a lot of like those streamer heavy games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a smart. I think it's a smart thing because as great as Remedy is, their games don't sell.
Yes,
as great as they have been, their games haven't sold. So having something like this that's going to be in PS Plus day one, going to be in Game Pass day one, is good for streaming. One of their best shots at making some money as they work on Control 2. Which they have said will have a smaller budget than Alan Wake 2. The Max Payne remasters, which as remasters, are about being cheaper to make, but still make a bunch of money off them. So Remedy's future seems a little brighter than it maybe has in the past, where they make amazing games that just aren't mass appeal games. Because Alan Wake 2
happened like 3 times, man. They're like, we made a great game, it didn't sell. We made a great game, it didn't sell. We made Game of the Year, it didn't sell.
Yeah. Like even people go on Quantum Break because of the live action stuff that much, but also like as a game, I think Quantum Break played better than Control. Control was just a lot cooler looking and had cooler looking and feeling with the throw. But as far as like the actual balance and the combat flow and everything, when you weren't playing it as a cover shooter, Quantum Break was fantastic.
Control got a little repetitive in the combat for me personally, just enemy types. This looks really cool, just visually.
And the best part of Control was the very end in the Christ, I can't remember the name, but there's like one part at the end, maze part that is
Ashtray Maze.
Yeah, Ashtray Maze.
Ash something. I don't think it was Ashtray.
Yeah.
It was Ash something.
Yeah, but that part is one of my favorites in a game. It's just so good with the combat and the feeling and the music, and at that point you've got all your abilities, and it's so goddamn good.
I need to finish Control. I will.
This game looks cool. I'll be real interested in it, especially after we get back from, because it's going to be hard for us to cover. Because we'll just be getting back from
when is
LA.
this releasing?
middle of next month, right after Summer Games Fest, if memory serves.
That is tough.
So we probably won't have a review for it, but maybe we'll stream it.
Yeah. I mean, this looks like the perfect Hangouts game, at least for a little while, right? Like, 100%. But yeah, that is the news of the last couple of days and some extra that were announced live on air. I guess that's what people do morning news shows, huh? Because stuff keeps getting announced in the morning. That makes sense.
That's why a lot of them go morning Pacific. Like Kind of Funny does 1 o'clock my time, but it's morning for them because all the morning PR people are waking up and getting their stuff out. So,
and it is Ashtray Maze, huh? I just thought it was something else. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
nice.
Ashtray Maze is amazing. I should get footage of that real quick just to show. Ashtray Maze Control. It's it's a little bit of a spoiler to show it all, but it's just an incredibly cool section. Like it's just so goddamn good.
Remedy are, I want to say, like, not the kings, but they regularly use Rule of Cool in their games, and you have to like fully buy into it, but it works so well when it works. And
at this point, you can freaking fly and stuff. Like it's so good. There's a lot I love about Control. It does have some issues with balance and scaling, and sometimes you just immediately die, and then other times you feel like a god because you're flying around and dashing and all that type of stuff. The Ashtray Maze is amazing. I won't show more of it because people should see more of it on their own if they ever play it, because it's still on Game Pass. It's the Ultimate Edition.
Well, they buffed it up. It looks fantastic too. Pretty good, nice ray tracing. But yeah, that is the news of the day. For those of you watching, thank you for joining in. Please check out Console Wars at consolewars.com/play, was it? Or
buy.
/buy. It's available for purchase. It's pretty affordable, $30 US. Not bad. And it's a fun game. Give it a shot. And of course, if you like what you watch and you want to support us more, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/XboxEra. Every little bit helps.
Yeah.
Jesse will be back this weekend talking about Sony's financials, I'm sure, and all the
we
stuff
might do a
did.
stream. I'm going to try and write a bunch of stuff today to keep the website alive. And after John gets home later, I might jump in and do some like Division 2 grinding and just hang out with him and talk with chat. We'll see.
Yeah.
Because that's like the goal now. Write and work a whole bunch early, because I'm probably going to be doing a review. I'm just going to write the review and get that done.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, so the Coffee with Cabeza and Hangout streams will probably be later in the day for a while instead of early.
That makes sense. We're ramping up to Summer Games Fest. We're going there in full force, essentially. So that should be a fun and hectic and busy time.
Yep.
And all right, we will see you guys later.
Ciao
Thanks
for
for
now.
watching.
And the sky is gray. And the sky is gray. I've been for the wall. I've been for the wall. On a winter's day. On a winter's day. I'd be safe and warm. I'd be safe and warm. If I was in LA. If I was in LA. California dream. California dreaming. On such a winter's day. Stepped into a church, I passed along the way. Well, I got down on my knees, and I pretend to pray. I pretend to pray. You know the preacher like the cold, He knows I'm gonna stay. Knows I'm gonna stay. California dreaming. California dreaming. On such a